So we're here. It's happening. After 10 years, we are here. So let me put this on Twitter. And my guest is already waiting on the backstage. So it's now 11 p.m. in Barcelona, and with 96% of the ballots, Juan Laporta is currently with 20,000 votes and a 57.6% percentile ahead. That's the result. And so thanks for the 14 of you who are there. I have missed this. I have missed being proud of wearing these colors, of talking about this team, of displaying my Cruyff poster and my shirt proudly. But after 10 years, 9 months, and 6 days, the day has come. It was a tough road to anyone who cared, to anyone who listened. The thing about Barcelona, and is the thing that I talked about on my last video, is that this club is not about what's logic. It's not about what's, listen, this works. So let's understand that this is the only time, back in 73, then back in 1988 until 96. And then when the shit went down and Laporta was able to, against all odds, against this Catalan elite who thinks that they own this club, and they have literally built the Camp Nou in 57 by literally taking the club really close to, going bankrupt. They had to sell the best player in the world back then to close the books. And after that, the same people, this mediocrity, it's the norm in Barcelona. And the difference is that in 73, this crazy Dutchman over here, he was sold to Real Madrid against his wishes. And he went to Barcelona, and we won the title again with a shirt very similar to this one that I'm wearing. And the thing about Cruyff, it's something that it's really, you cannot compare to what has happened at any other club in the world. Because the thing is, Barcelona, the way the Catalan elites wanted to be managed, wanted to be, is supposed to be mediocre. It's supposed to be made of Rossells and Bartomeus and Gasparts and Núñez and all this nonsense. And we were lucky enough to get Cruyff. And Cruyff, he re-energized not only this club, but actually the city that was currently and always under siege by, the fascism and Frankism, everything. But back in 1988, 10 years after Cruyff had left as a player, Núñez, the motherfucker, who is now dead, I don't care, but he was also arrested, just Bartomeu was this week. He was obliged to call Cruyff to be the manager because he was going to lose the elections. And even the players were revolting. You can see the Hesperia revolt, where the players themselves, they went after it. And Cruyff, the winning mentality, the playing style that we're used to. Obviously, this starts way over in the 60s with Hungary, and then with Netherlands, and then with Cruyff. But the winning mentality that we have witnessed now in the 21st century, after 2003, after 2008 with Guardiola, it began in 1988 with the second coming of Cruyff. And everything we understand about Barcelona can be summed up not only by the results we missed, which is, the Champions League in 92 and the 4 back-to-back Liga titles. And even though he was doing that in building the winning style that we witnessed until you know the Nuingistas took the power back again. He had to deal with the craziness of having to go against the sport newspaper, Mundo Deportivo, the Catalan elites, every single bullshit that we saw today with people lying about Laporta, like they lied about Guardiola, like they tried to dismantle Laporta and lie that he had left the club in financial shambles. Cruyff had to go against all that. I recommend that you watch, you guys that haven't watched, the En Un Momento Dado documentary. It's available on YouTube. It's awesome for you to understand what I'm talking about when I mean Cruyff and his importance and what and why we are so happy and why we have achieved so much. And the second part of my opening, I will talk by myself for 4 more minutes, and then my friend, my buddy from Andorra, Jordi Pascoal, will join us here in the stream. Everything that happened during the Guardiola years, like from 2008 to 2012, even though Cruyff was still alive, it's the same cycle, you know, of the Catalan elites finding ways to criticize whenever there is someone different from them, more alternative than them, more faithful to Cruyff than them. Because these people, they don't care about how we play, how we are doing, because what they care about is making shady deals, be it to buy random Brazilian players, or to sell Maradona, or to sell Fat Ronaldo, or to sell Rivaldo. They don't know anything about football. And after 10 years, not only do they have this power, this media, this, the money behind them and their mediocrity. That's why Freixa today he was running today, and thousands of people voted for him. And this is a construct that has been going on for decades. This is FC Barcelona. But I cannot close my opening speech any other way by saying, I know that the guys that are here, and I thank you, the 50 people that are here commenting, I will reply and I ask you to send questions. But even though some of us doubted a few moments, or were tired for some reason, or obviously football will always bring problems, even though we are following Cruyffism itself. What hurt me the most was that young people with access to the internet, knowing this history that is readily available if you just fucking Google it, they found ways to, oh no, Rossell isn't that bad. He's just doing a little something to make us more competitive. Oh no, Bartomeu is not a crook. He looks, he's an honest guy. Look at his mind. He's harmless. And every time the hardship came, there was excuses. There was, no, we have to buy a stronger player. Of course, we need a stronger midfield. Of course, we can, jiggle around Cruyffism a bit because we have to be more competitive. And that's the kind of speech, and the kind of speech that went about Club de Amigos and all this bullshit that was invented about the players recently, led us to this fucking 10 years, 9 months, and 6 days. They're ending today. So before I gladly pop this bottle of cava that I've been holding in my fridge for the last 3 years since my wedding, I have to say, hard times will come. The war for FC Barcelona, and for the opportunity to be able to lead this club in a fashion that is faithful to Cruyff and that allows us to be known as the best team of all time, or to have a very specific playing style. It will be hard. It will be tough. And obviously we will lose games. We will not play beautifully. at all times. But the thing is, this here and that guy and that playing style, and especially the winning mentality, it's innegotiable. Whenever we doubt it, whenever we think we can improve it or make it more modern or more competitive, is when we get crushed 8-2 or 7-0 or whatever the fuck has happened on the Champions League on the next 6 years. That's why we almost lost Messi. And today, and that's why one of the reasons I'm so happy, Messi pretty much said that he's staying because he knows, fuck, I hope this doesn't spill. Fuck. Yes, he knows that even though Laporta is a womanizer and even though Laporta will make mistakes, his love for Barcelona and his understanding of Cruyff is not negotiable. He will not, go after some mediocre coach or try to sign Alexander Song or other to run or Mathieu or whatever the fuck has happened on the last 10 years, because he's a winner. He thinks like a winner. He's not like this mentality that, sucks. So this is for us. For us who have endured the last 10 years, for us who have, lost interest, and I myself haven't watched any game this season. I'm just watching the Messi highlights, to be honest. This is for us who have endured. This is for us who have fought. I'm really glad about my friends from El Cor Blaugrana who started the thing to, get Bartomeu removed. And this is a night to celebrate. So this is for us, this is for FC Barcelona, this is for Cruyff, and this is for two friends that I lost. They died during this 10 years. It's Jordi Cireira. He was Helena Forte's husband. He died of a cancer while motherfucking Rosell and Bartomeu were going after their family, their money, with bullshit charges about the club's financial situation. And my second friend was Corsario. He was brother to my dear friend Maria, who will join us in a few. He died during the 6-1 match against PSG. Obviously, we can't tell for sure, but most likely he died of a heart attack with the emotion of the game, that in the end we didn't win that Champions League. But not only have we cared, but there were people who were gone in the way. And today is for them. So thank you for everyone who is here at this live stream. I will now bring my dear friend Jordi Pascual in the party. Good night, Jordi.
Good evening, buona nit, boa noite.
So my friend, tell me, you are from Andorra. You are a football coach. Tell me how you have been following these last few months, how you followed the elections, because I know that you are really happy as well.
So yes, I'm living in Andorra for 20 years. I'm Catalan born. I was born in a village called next to Barcelona, and I'm living in Andorra for 20 years. And I'm a football manager for the last 30 years. So trying to teach football and trying to learn about football. And well, in the last month was as everybody with this pandemic, close at home mostly of the time, and so on, and trying to learn things and to trying to do a lot of things. And now very happy to see you again, and very happy to with the results of the elections.
That's very good, my friend. I know that you and we know that Laporta is not a perfect man. As I said in my opening, he will make mistakes. But as someone who literally works with football and is really a Cruyffista and works with young people, talk about the mentality and this Tell me what is like working as an actual Cruyffista, you know, what's the difference between the mediocrity and how you see the sport and everything, because one of the things that we want to see pretty soon, and I know that Kuman isn't going away immediately, but there is a philosophy around everything that it has made this club famous, that you know like more than most people. So I want to hear you about this guy and everything that has brought us together.
So the first point is we are talking about a club and a team and a football team that play different. They not play like the others. They do something different, and this different is called joc de posició, juego de posición, positional playing. Okay, and it's a different way to understand the game. Some people think it's about just passing the ball for the sake of passing the ball, which is something more than and much more than this. We are talking about different, something different. And we also talk when we talk about this football. We is also how you are training this way, how you do it. This is something completely different, and this is the thing that made Barcelona a different and complete unique club in the world. No one is doing this, and no one at the moment. I would like a lot of people and a lot of clubs are following this kind of playing football and understanding how to play, because obviously as more people are involved in it, it's easier for more people to know it. Because one of the greatest problems is when you find just this boring passing the ball, because it's boring. Okay, you don't understand. And that's the problem, that many times people don't understand really what is happening on the pitch. They don't know exactly that the idea, the main problem is people think it's about moving the ball, and it's not about moving the ball. It's about moving the opposition. We move the ball to move the opposition to find the spaces, and so that this is why it's completely different to other ways of playing football.
Yes, my friend, and it's more about way less, directly less about the results, and more about, as you said, working obviously as a team, as a big collective, but also by having the patience and the technical know-how to know this little Martí Perarnau used to say when he was
Yeah,
writing about Pep, is these little mechanizations, right? Is these automatations of like thousands of hours of combining and moving the ball and moving itself so the other team moves. And that is why we have missed so much, because basically, especially ever since Luis Enrique,
mhm.
we saw way more attacks from the wings. It was we started slowly to go away from working in the middle, which is more tiresome and demands more attention and in preparation, and we started to go more through the wings, and we were going to narrow our way of attacking. And that has happened with other coaches as well. As we know, both you and I, we didn't like I forgot the guy from Bilbao. What was his name again?
Setien. Sorry, Valverde.
Yeah, Valverde, that people,
Valverde, yeah.
was defending as a Cruyffist and all this shit. We basically were selling the idea of Cruyffism, going with the wave and the fame of Cruyffism, but applying it in a ways that was not Cruyffist. And the results showed, especially how we were treated in Europe, because we became just a regular team. We ceased to be this, fear team that was able to achieve many stuff. And how do you see this period between 2015 and 2021 playing style wise?
They are two different things. One is about this way of playing, and if you do it, at the end the results will come.
Yes.
Pep Guardiola said once some time ago, when we win, there is not a problem. The main problem is when we lose, and then if the people trust the idea, and a lot of people didn't trust the idea anymore. The second part is some people, especially from some media in Catalonia mainly, they tried to sell the idea we were playing the same with Luis Enrique, with Valverde, with Setien, and now with Koeman, that we were playing with Guardiola because we are attacking. So what? Because we are attacking, we are playing the same. Okay, I do remember the first match when Luis Enrique was in charge of Barcelona. Yeah, he won the treble, he won the Champions League, and we all remember there were the elections then in 2015 after Luis Enrique won the treble, and everybody voted Bartomeu because we have Neymar, Messi, Neymar, Suarez, and we have the treble and we have everything, and this is fantastic and this is amazing. But I do remember the first match I saw. I watched it on TV of Luis Enrique as a manager. It was a friendly match. I don't remember if it was in Denmark. I think it was, or in Switzerland, somewhere.
Something
And
like
the
that.
first
Something
thing,
like
and the first thing I noticed that we have no wingers. Oh, the wingers were inside, not outside. So, and the width on the pitch was given by the fullbacks, which is something totally different with the idea of we're talking about. Also, we have the two attacking midfielders that normally are closer in the middle and closer to the center forward and looking for triangles. They were so also really spread out, very far from the middle, and so is where people said, "Oh, Busquets, oh, Busquets, he's not good anymore. He cannot play football. He cannot. He's always late. He's blah 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 blah." So all these kinds of things, and you said, "Wait. Let's put a little bit calm on this, and let's start to see if we are doing exactly the same or something similar." And when you see this, we have the wingers inside, we have the midfielders outside, we have the width with the fullbacks. We have a lot of these completely different. Obviously, I said it in my blog, but also several times on Twitter, Facebook, and all these kind of places. When if you want Busquets to play football, Busquets is a guy that is covering 10 per 10 meters. That's the space of Busquets. If you want Busquets to do Casemiro, which is running 50 meters and 50 meters, I'm sorry. So, no, you can decide to play like Real Madrid and having a guy like Casemiro. It's working for them. So it's working for them, it's good. But this is not Barcelona. We play different. And we are playing different. So back to the Luis Enrique time. That was the first thing. And this continues. And it has going on with Valverde and having and with Setien, and now we have with Koeman playing with three central defenders. And some people say, "Oh, Cruyff used to play with three defenders." Oh, wait. Cruyff, Johan Cruyff used to play with three guys in the back, not three central defenders and two wingers. He was playing with Koeman in the middle and sometimes Ferrer and Sergi, which are not really center backs, I think, especially because they are as short
Sure.
as I am. So this is not the same when you play like for example these last matches with Mingueza and Lenglet or Piqué or Umtiti. This is not the same at any moment. We cannot say Cruyff used to do this. No. Cruyff was doing something different, and the same is happening. But for some media, this is nice and it's funny to say we are playing the same. We are attacking. We have the possession of the ball. The unfamous. We have the ball. The possession of the ball is for Barcelona. What the hell are you complaining about? And I said, wait. It's not about the possession. Possession is always a tool. It's always a tool. It's a tool about the goal we have. That is to move the opponents. And this is happening, as I said before, since Luis Enrique arrived to Barcelona.
And the thing about the playing style, and as you said, even though it's clearly visible that we're getting worse, and that especially as Iniesta and Xavi were getting older, and they weren't, not only they weren't getting motivated to work as hard and to cover as many space because of this change of mentality, because of this change of strategy. We could see, as I said in my opening monologue, that people were starting to say, oh, we can't have Xavi, Iniesta forever. We have to face reality. We cannot play the same way anymore. We have to be competitive. And this kind of thinking, even though it is rational, because obviously Xavi, Iniesta, they won't last forever, they won't be there anymore, they hide the fact that we were not bringing people, younger people from La Masia. We are actually letting La Masia to rot and filling it with random Brazilians. I'm from Brazil, so I can say it. And
I
getting
remember
banned
talking
by
about.
FIFA and all this stuff. And because Cruyffism cannot be seen apart or told apart without this trust in La Masia and the way that you develop this linear understanding of football and this linear application of the style and the way we play. And that is why, and now we're going to talk about Laporta. And that is the difference we're going to start seeing. Because Koeman, I may not like him as a person, I may not like his style, but he is not dumb enough to see the situation that we're in regarding the players, regarding the squad, regarding the financial situation, and not to use the younger players. And he is the graphics show that he's using it way more even than Luis Enrique did. And from what you, because I was there for Guardiola, but I know you were there for Cruyff in the 90s. But how can you give us a few examples or talk about not only the importance and how the Cruyffism has changed the way La Masia works, but especially how Cruyff and then later Guardiola were able to, enmesh the younger players with the older ones. So we would always have a fresh squad, more rested, and and at the same time giving the younger players the opportunity, the match time minutes to develop. How would you talk about this subject, my friend?
Well, Cruyff is coming from Ajax Amsterdam. He was raised there. Ajax is a club that always has a trust in young people. Johan Cruyff started to play for the first team of Ajax when he was 17, with a guy
But yeah.
that his name was Big Buckingham, that later became the manager of Barcelona. So he was the guy, if I don't remember well, that gave him the opportunity to his first debut at Ajax when he was just 17 years old. So Johan Cruyff has been raised with this kind of things. You are young, you're good enough, let's play. So easy. And when he arrived as a manager here at the end of the 80s, he came because he was also, after retiring, he was playing in the Netherlands in Ajax again, and he also became champion with Ajax in the league, and he won also the Cup Winners' Cup, if I don't remember badly, or something like that. He didn't win the Champions League, but he won with some of the young people. So he was. So when he arrived to Barcelona, one of the first things that happened to him, he was the famous number 4, right? So it was Luis Milla. Luis Milla was he moved to Real Madrid at the end of the season. So okay, we have a problem. We need a guy to play there, to play in the middle, to be the axe of everything. So he asked Charlie Reixac, who was his assistant, and said, "Charlie, who is the best player in at La Masia?" He said, "Someone called Pep Guardiola." Okay, let's go to see him. And they went to watch a Barca B match, and they couldn't find Guardiola. He's not playing. But I think he's junior, still junior. They went to the junior, couldn't find. So he asked the coaches, "Where's this guy?" No, he's in the bench. Why? Oh, he's a small one. He's skinny. He's this, he's that. And Cruyff said, "But is he good?" Yeah, but put him on. Put him on playing. and they put Guardiola. And Charlie and Cruyff said, okay, you Pep, you come with us. You come with us to the first team to play. But this is the same that happened with Guardiola, that happened with Ferrer, with Sergi, with uh, Oscar Garcia Junyent. We also remember and that day in Sevilla, in Betis Stadium, with the Quinta del Mini, De La Peña, Moreno, Celades, Arpon, Belamazan, Roger, all born in 76, except Manegos. And they were 20 years old. Then they were 20 years old. And they were playing for the first team. They are good, they play. If they are good enough, you continue. I remember match against Bayern Munich with the half of the squad was injured. There was a draw to two in Munich with Popescu. Remember Popescu? Popescu
Yes,
and,
all
Popescu
time.
and Guardiola playing as a center back and libero, and playing on the midfield with guys with like De La Peña, Telade, Rouget, and they had a draw to two there. So and this is it was the mentality. And obviously when Guardiola arrived as a manager, he always has said this a lot of times. I was raised in Barcelona that if you are good enough, you're going to play for the first team. So if there is someone good enough, and we all remember that Guardiola was the manager of the second team that were playing the third division, and then they were
Yes.
promoted to the second division team. In this squad, there were two guys. One of them called Pedro Rodriguez, and another one called Sergio Busquets. In 1 year, they were from third division to world champions. They were in the squad and to the sixth and the world champions in 2010. World champion for Spain in 2010 in 1 year. So it's just about to give the opportunities. It's just like you are good enough, go and show it. You are not good enough, okay, you back and maybe you are on loan to another team or whatever to see if you improve. It happens with Ferrer. Ferrer was a guy that he was on the second team, and Cruyff said to him, "You go 1 year to Tenerife, and then you come back because right now you don't have the place right now here to play every Sunday, and you need to play every Sunday, and then next year you will come back." And Ferrer is an example, and Sergi is another example. There are a lot of examples of with Cruyff and then with Guardiola that given a lot of chances to young players, young people without any problem. And this is one of the important things. Okay, we can say now Koeman is giving these chances. It seems in some aspect is because he has no other options, a lot of injuries, so he need players, but also we have to recognize he's not so bad in this aspect. For example, players like Pedri, which is just 18 years old, is playing every match. Now, Elias, it seems, is going to play a lot. Mingueza, you can see him quite good. So on. So let's see what's on. Even De Jong, that we were thinking after the first year he was not going to be as good as he was at Ajax. It seems completely different now. So let's see what's happened. But it's also about giving uh, chances to the young players. But every manager. I mean, I was coaching one team here in Andorra, and I was there for 3 years. And in 3 years, more than 40 players, less than 18 years old, played for the first team. Okay, Andorra is a small place, but around 40 players less than 18 years old played for the first team. Well, we needed, we were enough players sometimes when we need the young players, but they play. And some of the players were playing every Sunday with 16 years old. But they are good enough. They want to play. So, and I think this is the mentality. It doesn't matter. And it's the same at the other side. No, because it's 35. What do you mean it's 35? It's something you have a. So your passport says when you can play at the top level or not. You are good enough. You can play. You can play. You can play at the level. If you are if you are ready, you are fit. Cristiano Ronaldo is an example of a top professional player. Like it or not, is a top professional player. He became 30. He became 36 months ago, and he's still on the top. So, so where's the problem? Oh no, Xavi is 34. He cannot play. Okay, I don't know. Sergio Busquets is very old. He cannot play anymore. And then we take a guy that is called Arturo Vidal, who is older than him.
Paulinho, Arturo Vidal.
No, but yeah, Paulinho. No, no. More than the quality of the players, but I don't remember some people saying, no, the future is Arturo Vidal. He said, listen, Arturo Vidal is 1 or 2 months older than Busquets. So this is the future? Get lost sometimes.
My friend, you were talking about the younger players and how both Cruyff and Guardiola, were actually using them and playing them. And the thing about after Guardiola's departure, and afterwards we can talk about how much the way Rosell, Bartomeu, Mundo Deportivo, and Sported acted led to Guardiola leaving Barcelona for good and not wanting to return because his life were turning to hell since since the year 2000, right? Because he was saying he was an homosexual, that he had AIDS, that because he was used to model some clothes of his wife, etc. But this is a time for another story. But regarding the youth players, obviously what happened to Tito Villanova was a disaster. The disease, cancer, is it's horrible. But after we were more stable, what we were seeing is that a large proportion of players that we had coming from La Masia, they were never given a chance to actually have some kind of regularity of playing time, because after Busquets, we got Sergi Roberto, and every single other player that was coming up, I'm just going to throw random names and not about quality, obviously, but we can talk about Adama Traore, we can talk about Tello, we can talk about other midfield players, we can talk about even that Alex Garcia guy that people want to bring him now. So it's good to have this perspective that you're bringing, that the success that Cruyff had that hasn't happened since, which is the first back-to-back Liga titles plus the first-time Champions League, and then everything that Guardiola does, he was doing this rotation and giving the time to players. And all the other coaches, starting from Tata Martino, which was a big fuck you from Rosell to everyone, because you know this better than me. The club has never even heard of the guy. There was no studies about his tactical methods. He only hired Tata Martino, and this is to everyone who's watching. Tata Martino was only hired by Rosell so he could tell that he was only hired because of Messi, and then he ran a little a check on the phone with the FC Barcelona socios to see how many would be able to sell Messi in 2013, 2014, because the plan was to sell him and put Neymar, because Neymar was Brazilian, because Neymar would be his player, because Neymar is Nike, and blah, 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 blah. So after this little rant, it's really, obviously, as I said, it's not a question of quality. I know that these players that I mentioned, they were subpar, most of them. But clearly, what can you see regarding the usage of youth players since Tata Martino until today with Koeman? Can we compare to Cruyff and Guardiola in any way?
Yeah, we can compare, but I don't know when. Anyway, no, just an example, and people will understand a little bit what are we talking about right now. Xavi was born in 1980. Valdez, 1982. Iniesta, 84. Right? Piqué, Cesc Fabregas, Messi, 87. Busquets and Pedro, 88. Thiago is 91, if I don't remember. Bojan was 90, Thiago 91, and Sergio Roberto is 92. Okay, we have Bartra, we have Tello, we have, but more or less, you can see the average is one player from La Masia every year. The average. Some years you have one, some years you have nothing. Next year you have three. Another year you have two. But the average is, but since 1992, as you said, with Sergio Roberto, no one else has arrived and has stayed. That's the main problem. And we are in 2020, which means that at least there will be someone born in 98, in 99. Okay, it, maybe Alenya has gone to Getafe on loan. Let's see what's happening if he's going to be back or not. But Ricky Puig, I think Koeman is not a very good friend of Ricky Puig. Okay, let's see. But from 92 to 2000, no one else has arrived and has stayed. No one else, for whatever reasons. We don't know. We have Deulofeu, born in 94. Deulofeu. Okay, no, as a quality, is one of the best player I've seen ever. A lot of quality. Probably has nothing inside the head, not for sure.
Yeah.
But as a quality, he was top. But it's what is a we were talking before about the way of playing. It's going a little bit of together. You said that it's not possible to have Xavi and Iniesta again. Okay, maybe it's not possible, but what is for sure is not acceptable is when some people say, "Oh, uh, we have Rakitic and Arturo Vidal and Paulinho and this, so we have to play with these players." And my question is, okay, who went to look for these players? It was the club, it was the manager that went to look Rakitic and Paulinho and so what are we complaining about? If you want to play something similar, okay, we cannot find another Xavi Iniesta. It's not possible to produce every year Xavi and Iniesta, but sure we can produce good midfielders on La Masia and give them the chances, or probably we can find, for example, the same Tony Kroos who is playing for Real Madrid. Probably, probably is a player that is useful for Barcelona.
I
Probably
have
is
to interrupt you. I have to interrupt you because, and this is again, if you guys are watching this and you don't know this story, um, uh, Kroos was available to us under Luis Enrique in Luis Enrique first season for 25 million euros, and he said no. Okay? So I know that people love Luis Enrique because he's a man's man and he runs in the desert or whatever the fuck and he won the treble. But the fact is, he was never a real Cruyffist. And I have one here by myself to confirm it. And second of all, there were choices he made, namely preferring to buy Rakitic over Kroos, that obviously fucked us in the long term, even though in his first season he was able to win the treble, which is a really bittersweet treble because we won it, but at the same time Bartomeu was elected, and 6 years we needed 6 years to get rid of him. So it's a treble that I really worry about. But sorry for interrupting, Jordi, but it's what you're talking about. Obviously, whenever we have young players who either are not good enough or are not given the proper time, the thing about the Barcelona is that since the club has always been rich, it hasn't been the richest club in the world as it is now. We were able to buy players to help develop the rest of the environment. Obviously, at the best. With Cruyff, we had Romário, we had Laudrup, we had Stoichkov, we had people from abroad to help up. And this, what you said, is perfect because it's a combination of the two things. Because not only were the young players not given the minutes, but the quality of the players being purchased was shit. It was
there
because
is
yeah.
there is even more. If you see when with Guardiola, the center of gravity of the team is in the middle of the pitch. Busquets, Xavi, Iniesta. With Luis Enrique, this starts to change. First, as we said before, it is going more to the wings, fullbacks, and attacking midfielders. So the center of the pitch is empty. But also, we have the center of gravity of the team from the midfield to the attack. Messi, Suarez, Neymar. So this is a complete change of the philosophy of the idea. Now, is the idea is to give the ball to these three guys over there, and they will decide. They are so good enough. They are so good enough. They obviously they are so good enough. They can do whatever you want. Messi, Suarez, and Neymar. There is no doubt about it. So give the ball to them, and don't worry about anything else. What is starting to happen? As one of the things Guardiola used to say, as fast as the ball goes, as fast as it goes back,
It returns, yes.
it returns. So it means if we are run a lot to arrive to the attackers, to the three guys at the front, when they lose the ball, it's easier that the ball is arriving to our goal. Because our team is unbalanced, our team is not well positioned on the pitch. There are many holes, many spaces for the attack for the opponents, which it didn't happen when Guardiola was the manager. The structure of the team was so that, yeah, of course you can lose the ball. Of course they can be all these counter attacks. Of course they are very good managers. They are experts in doing it. But it's not like now. It's not like now. We played on Saturday against Osasuna, and probably the best player was Ter Stegen, and he's not the first match.
And
And
it's
and
actually
when
it's not the first year. It's been for a long time.
exactly that's the problem. When you are a team that is supposed that you are attacking, and your best player is the goalkeeper, and we are not talking about counter attacks because if you have the other team has five counter attacks and the goalkeeper stole all them. What I need, Maria. And
Good night, Maria.
so the question is that we are we have a problem. But when it's supposed that the team is going attacking, and counter attacking, and then we have a real problem because our best player is the goalkeeper. So that means that is something we are doing wrong.
It's
So
one
easy.
of the it's a really clear symptom when you have the goalkeeper, as you said. And I have to interrupt you for a little bit to introduce everyone to Maria. Guys, so Maria, who is here with us, he has been she's a cooler from Chile. She's have been fighting for this day more than most of us. She's a founding member of Core Blaugrana. She has been involved in lots of stuff to resist these people. And welcome, dear. Good to see you here. How are you doing? How are you feeling on this joyous occasion after so many years?
Thank you for having me and on all the people here. So hello to Jordi as well. I'm just very, I would say, happy and with a lot of expectations as well to see how we can recover the club basically because these 11 years have been a time when we lost practically everything. I'm sure you were talking about the part of the importance of La Masia and our specific game, and we lost that. We lost so many things that made us to be the club that we were, and so now it's the time to recover all that.
And what you guys did at Core Blaugrana, I remember that there was this some people on Twitter saying that it's just a short time from the elections. I don't know why you guys are pushing this
Yeah.
because Bartomeu has done enough damage, but we shouldn't do it. And you guys went ahead, you organized, because I'm so happy that Maria was able to be here to talk about our core Blaugrana, the Blaugrana heart in Catalan, because basically you were a group of fans from all over the world. There's you in Chile, there's lots of guys in Catalonia, that's Jaimo, my great friend from Switzerland, and people from other places that came together to organize the website where socios could, put their information online and go and, scribe. But also you organize people in Catalonia, so you were able to get the physical signatures. So if whatever you want to say about this time period that allowed us to have this victory today, feel free. The time is all yours, and I'm so glad to be here about it.
Yeah, well, thank you for that, for the introduction. Yeah, for me, it was very strange to join the group because I knew from many years a couple of members that were very, very important members for the opposition, like doing a lot of opposition for against Rosell. And I met them in a trip. I love to travel, and I've been to Barcelona many times. And one of these trips, I met them. And we, again, last year, we kind of crossed our paths again. And we started this organization. So I was not there at the beginning, but I joined it afterwards. But in the end, I think all started when a few members and also fans, no, not only members, started to. I don't know if you remember around February last year that there were the last games that with people with the audience, and there were some people that were very loud against Bartomeu with the handkerchiefs, and yeah, that some of them may have a something to do with our group afterwards. So I think that the real start of all this movement was died at that point, and then something happened that we started to think about a motion of censorship, I would say, and we thought it was at the beginning that it would be incredibly difficult, as it was, but we started to plan it with a lot of time around May last year, and then it started to happen a lot of things. The problems with this I3 Ventures thing, the Bartogate that is also very famous today, and then the bad results in Champions League that all came together to just present it and won it afterwards. So I think planning was key. We had a lot of work for a lot of months, basically around 3 or 4 months before launching this thing, and then actually going and getting all these 20,000 signatures was not easy either. And then, of course, there were a lot of also other groups doing that job, because it's very, very impressive the amount of people involved. I would say we were around dozens, hundreds of people involved in this thing. So yeah, it was very fun. It was fun, and what we wanted with the entire movement is exactly what happened today, which is not winning for one candidate. This motion was never done with this purpose of helping one candidate, but it was done with the purpose of recovering the club for members and fans as well. Fans were incredibly helpful, and they played a huge role in the motion as well. People that were not them.
Yeah, and I love to hear about this story, because pretty much what we have seen, and me and Jordi were talking about history and how Mundo Deportivo and Sport and the Catalan elites, they pretty much make certain that we have mediocre presidents and coaches and players because they are more interested in funneling money out of the club and selling historical players like Maradona and Fat Ronaldo and Rivaldo and everything. And they wanted to sell Messi, as I was talking about during the Tata Martino years. And pretty much what you guys did for me is so politically important because as we used to say in the Barcelona Twitter, four shirtless people on Twitter, which is how they used to try to offend us when we're talking about. You guys from all over the world, you came together, you created a website, you organized, you put people to work there in Catalonia, and you were able to get 20,000 signatures, which these motherfuckers like Rossell and Bartomeu, they changed the bylaws to increase this number, right? After they took power, to make it harder for them to fall. And even with this, it was Precha, yes. This, as I said, which is a talking point that we will talk about here, that we are happy here, we are drinking champagne, we're doing all this shit, and we are here from 3 different countries, but the war will resume tomorrow. You know, Mundo Deportivo and the Catalan elites, they were attacking Laporta today with a tweet from a random far right dude about Laporta being gross towards some lady, and it was false. This is just the beginning. The same thing to doubt Cruyff, to attack Laporta, and anyone who goes against him will happen starting tomorrow. And he only get a brief period because he won by this huge percentage of the votes, like 60%, with everything against him. 18 years after he was elected in 2002 is a long time. But you guys, is like 4 shirtless people, you went against the machine, you took the club back. And obviously we were like, for 4 months, with this ridiculous character, Tusquets, who was today trying to appear on all the cameras, was drinking champagne with Laporta. These people who are on the internal, on their surroundings of Barcelona, they're just, grotesque. And the change that we saw today, the change that you guys caused, it started on Twitter. It started on people being enough, having had enough, and organizing in a ways that the opposition, not only not Victor Font, not Laporta, and not even Mark Duch, which we like, and he helped in the process. He didn't start it. It was you guys. So I'm so glad.
That's a story for a different day, but yeah, you're right.
It's so glad that, people like us who love this club, doesn't matter where we were born, doesn't matter the language that we were, born speaking. I'm so glad to be your friend, that you came to my wedding, and and we have this shared history. It was so proud of you, dear. So good that you're here. And I was talking, I don't know if you're watching, but I mentioned your brother. And because we lost people on these 10 years, and your brother was one of them. And this is for him, and I was remembering him today, and so glad that you are here to represent him. So thank you for your effort.
Yeah, thank you.
And so let's take a look at.
We have been through a lot in the last 10, 11 years. That's a long time.
It's a long time. So since we touched on something that make me and Maria a little bit emotional, let's take a look on the questions that the guys sent here that I asked.
I don't see any questions. You do.
I will put them here on the screen. So the first one from Neil is about the UNICEF on Barcelona jersey. I'm gonna start by saying by myself that football has changed a lot since 2003, and given that this club is on a 1.2 billion debt situation right now, I don't think anytime soon we'll be able to not, gain some sort of money from someone like Rakuten or whatever, whoever is paying
I,
now. What do you
I,
think, my friend?
I saw today, I think Laporta said today, I don't know where I read it, that he wants to put UNICEF back on the jersey, that he wants to do it again. So let's see if it's possible or not. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
As we are stating, the economical situation is catastrophic.
Yeah, it's dire.
It's yeah, exactly.
It's
So a lot of money is needed. A lot of money is needed from now on. Not to build the Spy Barca and the new stadium, just to pay the bills, just to pay the players, and just to pay
Right.
this kind of things. So a lot of meaning of money is needed. So maybe this is still close to 6 years for John Laporta to run an office. So I don't think he's thinking of doing it tomorrow morning. Of course not. Maybe in a couple of years, if the situation is good or is not bad enough, he can think about putting back UNICEF on the shirt.
Yeah, what do you think, Maria, about the shirt? Do you think would be feasible for us to bring it soon? I think it's going to be the middle way, maybe like here, like on the back, but having someone paying on the front slot, because I don't think we'll see UNICEF on the chest again soon enough because the club cannot afford to do it.
I think the same than Jordi. I think we're going to need a few years, maybe 2 or 3, to really see something like this happen again. So probably they would go with the strategy of put it in the back, which can be, for a moment, could be a good idea. But I think it's important that we should realize that the club is really in a very, very stressful situation
Yeah.
of that, and also of the very short term that it's not just long term. So I think we should forget about these things for a moment, and also forget about big signings. I mean, I wouldn't
Yeah.
understand bringing someone very very expensive in this window transfer. The next one, it would be very very hard to understand that.
Yeah, I think if we get to keep Messi, it's going to be a huge news already. I think in the end, the way he was smiling as he was, putting the ballot, I think it's a sign. We don't know shit. We just hope that it gets settled soon enough. But let's see the next one about Koeman. I think it's going to depend on the results. I think even if he wins a Copa del Rey or something, but if he doesn't win La Liga, I think Laporta won't be very flustered to send him packing and get someone who's closer to what they believe. What do you guys think?
I think he will be fired at the end of the season. No, let's. We were talking before. He's not playing Barcelona style. I'm sorry,
He's
he's not. So if you are the president that says we want back to Cruyff, back to Guardiola, back to this thing, blah 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 blah, I'm sorry. Ronald Koeman cannot be the manager. Another thing, which is quite normal, we are now in the middle of the season. So unless the manager is doing very very bad, and at least in the last weeks things are going from the sporting side much better, we are not playing great games, but at least we can see a competitive game, a competitive team. We won against Sevilla. We are now the second in the standings in La Liga. So let's see what's happened on Wednesday. Even it's quite difficult. So unless everything was a disaster, to replace the manager in the middle of the season is something which is very very difficult. And I'm a manager. I don't like when a manager is replaced in the middle of the season. So I think he's going to finish. I think he's going to finish the season, and then it doesn't matter if he wins one title or three titles. He's going to be paid. He has one year more contract. He's going to be paid, and the manager, because the other thing is normally it's very if you have Saint John Laporta or Freixa or Victor Font. We are now in the middle of the season, so the manager you want uh, uh, to take for next season probably is training now, so he cannot say, "Hey guys, I'm leaving. I'm going to Barcelona. Glad to meet you." This is not possible normally. So which means we have to wait till the end of the season, because at the end of the season, even if you have a contract, you can say, "Listen, guys, I'm going to Barcelona. I'm going home." If Jordi Cruyff or Arteta, or it doesn't matter who, okay, I'm going there because this is my place and this is the club and blah 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 blah, blah and so this kind of thing. So I think he's gonna finish this season,
Yeah, I agree. What do you think,
and then he
Maria?
will replace.
What do you think
Um,
about Koeman's future?
I think that he might stay even longer, like 1 year more,
No,
because
please.
I think because I guess I don't know. I guess it will take a lot of time to recover a lot of things, and one of the things is the sports. So I imagine that building up a structure of people, of methods, of a lot of things, it will take a lot of time. So being like doing something very radical, like dismiss him in June, it might even be worse for the team at the in the long term. So I think that he could maybe stay for 1 more year. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really up to results. I think it's going to maybe even depend on his contract, because I have to remind people that we haven't paid Setien. Setien hasn't been paid
But that's
so
another
far.
point. That's another point. That simply this war we had, that there are a bunch of craps and so
It's
on. But it's not because there is no money. It's just because whatever.
But
So
And
let's
talking,
see.
I was
Regarding
talking about
Koeman,
uh, like they have to know all the thing that is there, hidden surprises like this one. Like at the end, we know we don't know anything else. So um, dismissing Kuman could be even more uh, a bigger risk. I don't
yeah, we have no idea about the contracts. And just let me remind people who are watching that Bartomeu was such an imbecile, such a moron, that the asshole was holding the contracts of Bartogate at his home to hide it, that he was funneling money out of the club to follow the players and to hire random companies to, defend himself. So the level of, stupidity, that's why these guys were arrested. That's why people think that, oh, Rossell was persecuted. He didn't deserve to be 2 years in jail. He cannot step in foot in Brazil. He will go to jail immediately. I live here. I know. So let's go to the next question regarding the Bolsho noise. I think regarding the Bolsho noise, the story is, I think Jordi can back me up here, that Laporta had a really tough time to ban the Bolsho noise.
yeah,
And every far right ultra groups, when he
yeah,
took power, people were actually planning to murder Laporta, and people were arrested on their way to kill Laporta. Like actually did this plan. They have proof of this shit. So Rossell and Bartomeu were given tickets so they could
know.
attend the away games without paying anything. They were paying plane tickets so these motherfuckers would go to Champions League matches. So I think it will be a bit tough, but with the pandemic, I live in Brazil, so the fascists here is killing 2,000 people a day. 1,000 more died just right now during this live that I'm doing, and I don't know when Spain is going to resume matches. But I think with the pandemic is a bit easier to try to control. But I don't know what do you think, Jordi?
Well, at the moment in Spain, he's not allowed to go to the stadiums, so there is no problems. Also, international matches are not allowed. It depends on every country. Their countries' supporters can go to the stadiums, but for example, UEFA has said no away fans can travel. So only home fans can be if the policy of your country allows you to go to the stadiums, but only home fans. On the other hand, uh, Laporta fired these guys from the stadium, and he's gonna do it again for sure. With this, Laporta has been always very very clear: zero violence, no violence at all. These people is not accepted. So no tickets. You are not in the stadium, and you are not. And I said, I bet for sure that these guys are gonna be out of the club again.
Let's hope so. Maria, what your takes on the Bolsho noise in Laporta?
I think, yeah, I expect the same. I know it is easier said than done, and of course, Laporta suffered a lot that decision in the past, but I think that when people come back to the stadiums, and not only in Catalonia but in the rest of the world, probably, I guess that they won't want to come back to the same experiences that we had in the past with violence and these things. So, as Jordi said, maybe this pandemic would be like an ally to basically ban these people forever, or at least for 5 years. So I expect that. Yes, I know it's not going to be something to do in one day or even 1 week, but I expect them to be gone. Yes, hopefully.
Yeah, I think we all agree on that. Let me get one of the freshest questions. Do we need superstars in the team, such as like Haaland and Kunde? I think we can't afford anyone. I think
Exactly.
only
That's the problem.
if we are able to fool anyone into buying Coutinho, which has a huge flop at Barcelona, even though he destroyed us in that Bayern Munich bashing. I don't think, especially how Laporta has been talking about Dembele, I don't think they're gonna sell him. So if we're buying someone, it will depend on who will sell, because I will record on Thursday a video with my friend Frederic Porta, who was blacklisted by Bartomeu as a journalist. It was revealed on the Bartogate situation. He tells me that the Barcelona has to pay around 500 million to 600 million of the debt by June or July, something like that. So obviously, Laporta is arriving in a really dire situation, and it will depend on sale. And let's hope that it doesn't include Messi, of course, for us to be able to sign. What do you think, Maria, about the possibility of us signing anyone?
I think the possibilities are zero, and I really hope that we are not having more debt for a couple of players. I think this signing another one would be an extension of what Bartomeu has been done in the past, like a very responsible signing politics. So this thing must stop, because what you said is true. It's like the club needs to give money to others, clubs, banks, and stuff by June, and it's 500 million, and it has to be returned. So even if you sell some players like Coutinho or anyone, Dembele, etc., that money should be used to pay this debt. No for signings. I mean, not this year, not even in 2 or 3 years, probably.
Yeah, good that we have at least a promising La Masia, people coming around. How do you see this thing happening, Jordi? about the signings and the usage of Masia once again.
As usual, this kind of thing is, as we say in Spanish, un perro que se muerde la cola. A dog that is eating his own tail. That means if the sport side is going well, the economic side is going well, and if the economic side is going well, the sport side is going well, because it's a retroalimentation, so retrofeeding. So what is happening at the moment? The economical situation is really bad. So we need we need the sporting side to be at the front and the one that pushes the club. Now the team has to real push the club and has to real help the club to achieve whatever. So obviously, if Laporta is very well known, everybody knows what Laporta did. So also for the players, also it's not the same when Bartomeu is calling you and said, "Hey, you want to play for Barcelona?" And says, "With you, who are you?" And I said, "Hey, I'm Laporta. I'm back. I want the travel. I want the sixth title in a row in 1 year. I want this. 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 So do you want to play for me? How much money you have? Not too much. It doesn't matter. I come. Not all the players will do, but sure, it's easier to convince some players to say, "Hey, listen. Also, Messi wants to play with you." Wow. On the other hand, as Maria was saying, there's another very important part for sure. With Laporta, we are going to have more people coming from La Masia, and that's important. So you have a good base for the next season. I think we can all accept to stay 1 year or two winning nothing while we are preparing and repairing the club. We can accept all. If Laporta, I said Laporta, but whoever was the president elected today, if he's coming to the fans and say, "Listen, guys, we have zero cash, we have nothing. We have to do this way, this way, the way. There's no other option." And people is going to say, "Okay, there is no other option." He's going to accept it. So if Laporta tomorrow or in 2 weeks or whenever he says, "Listen, guys, there is no money. We need the money to pay this debt that we have to pay now," I will talk to the banks and I will explain to them that if we can arrange this and just to pay, for example, 300 million and not 500 million, doesn't matter. The amount to arrange this, maybe we have more money to sign some players. But this is the situation we have. And on the other hand, if the team start to go better, then it's obviously is going to, but also because the same investors, the same sponsors, not investors, the sponsors, they will have more trust in the club, in the team, and in the club as a consequence. So it's easier. As I think Laporta who said that at the starting of all this in October or November, we are going to go outside and sell like a sellerman with our wallet in our hand and go door to door, knock, knock, knock. "Hello, this is Barcelona. I'm selling here's my products."
I
And
hope she was referring to the players or some players and not to things like the new businesses that Bartomeu wanted to sell, because that would be an incredibly big mistake. So hopefully he's not thinking on that. I think he's not. You never know.
Yeah, I think I even put here the freshest question about the deal with the short-term debt and everything, because with the pandemic, with COVID-19, and obviously with the revenues going down and everything, it's even tougher to deal with anything. But what I can say is I think that the spy Barca or whatever the fuck they came up to rob, steal 600 million euros, because that's what they did in 57 with the original Camp Nou, and that's what they're trying to do once again when they approve this project. They won't move a muscle about it, because we can't do it right now. The club is at the brink of bankruptcy, and we have a really high wages to pay. And even Messi, I think, would have to talk about lowering his wages in a certain percentage. I don't think if it will happen, if he will stay, how much it would mean. But it really will come up to thinking of the players we can sell. Obviously, number one in the list is Coutinho. I don't think anyone else
Who's going to
goes.
who's going to buy him? That's the problem.
Yeah, so
No,
for
not
some
Arsenal. No,
sort,
we don't want that.
something
That's the
like
problem.
that. So yeah, regarding the money, it's dire. So let's see other stuff here. Let's talk about young people with the likes of Puig, Lais, Fati, Minguez, Araújo. Remember being someone like Ucarella. Could we challenge for a league or Champions League? With Koeman, not.
Yeah, that was thinking exactly the same. Yeah.
I don't think, from what we've seen this season, as I said, I'm really honest about it with the fascism that's going on here. It's the first season since 1994 that I'm not following the matches. I'm only seeing the Messi highlights because I can't. I have been stuck at home for literally 1 year since the pandemic started here in Brazil, so I don't have the energy. But from what I saw with the PSG result, it's the same thing happening over and over again regarding us being able to compete in the European level. So even though these players, they are really talented, and I'm really happy that Ansu Fati is coming back, but to be able to imagine that would be, challenge the league with Messi will always be feasible. That's a fact. Doesn't matter. He won the league with Paulinho. He won the league with Song. He won the league with these guys. So it doesn't matter. But the Champions League, certainly, I think it's a tough deal, at least with this manager. So what do you think, Maria, about the possibility of competing without the
I think,
signings, just Masia?
yeah, I think these kids they would need to learn more, and as you said, I don't think Kuman is going to teach them very well. But also, I think that they could still use the experience. We see that, and I'm always following, of course, our team, the reference team that is today, which is Manchester City. And even then, they are great in their own league and stuff. They always fail in Champions League because of their experience. Their players have, like, they're supposed to be great and stuff, and they have the best coach in the world for a few years now, but they always fail on that. So our kids, I think, they can learn a lot from these matches, playing against PSG or others, and accumulate experience for the next 3 or 4 years. But not now. I don't think we're gonna win any Champions League for the moment. It takes time, and it's also very complicated. I think we're used to perform very well, so we think that winning a Champions League is very easy, but it's really not. So for the time being, I think the guys would very use the experience for the upcoming years.
Yeah,
What do you think, Jordi?
yeah, very similar to Maria. Very similar. I mean, these guys in a couple of years they can be ready to win a lot of things, but they are very young now. They need experience. They need experience in playing matches, which is this or this when there has no options. I mean, and this experience you only get it playing matches. So right now they are young. They are talented. They are very good. All them Fati, Lais, Mingueza, Araujo, very good. But they need experience. They need experience. So this is one of the most important things is Messi stays.
Yes.
And even Messi and Busi and Piqué, these guys that know
And Ter Stegen is
now,
the fourth.
obviously, much. It's. But I'm talking. No, I'm talking the homegrown players. I'm talking the players coming from La Masia, like Piqué, Messi, or Busquets. They know the club. They know everything. These guys are coming also from the lower ranks of the club. So to have the mirror up there, they say, do this, don't do that, take care, blah blah blah, whatever. So and they help it. And then in a couple of years, Messi or 3 years, Messi and Piqué and Busi say, bye bye, we're going home. We are 36 or 37, and we are going home now. It's up to you. I'm sure these guys are going to win the Champions League. Sure. If we work in the right way, which I think that Laporta is going to do. He did it. One of the good things is he did it. He did it. We were talking before with he's not perfect or whatever, but he did it, and he created an atmosphere that the team was winning, the club was excellent. So it's about obviously is what I said. For sure, he can say Laporta can say whatever he wants, and the people can say yes, yes, yes. But our famous media, for sure, at the second match that is lost. Laporta shit, Laporta da, Laporta go home, Laporta blah blah blah. This manager, why did you took this manager and you didn't take Klopp or why you didn't keep Kuman? Why you didn't? Why do you put this player? Why is still Busquets playing? He's 36. Why you didn't sell Messi? Why you didn't do? This is going to happen? This is going to happen. The good thing is Laporta cares nothing about these people. So okay. So, but we need to be all the fans and all the supporters and all the socials. We need to be passionate with these guys. There is not a penny. There is not a penny at the club. So we need to use the things that we have. What we have Araujo, we have Elias, we have guys like, for example, today Collado that made an exhibition with the B team against Agostera. We need this kind of players. Conrad, we need these players more than ever. We need them always, obviously, but now it's more than ever. And
Yeah.
of course, and the other good part is as usual. If you have these players, why do you going to go outside to look for another player?
And that's why we missed for like 6 years, 7 years or 8 years. But yeah, let's see. Regarding Messi, no, there was a question here about how Messi, yeah, this one. How would you assess Messi's thought process throughout the season? Do you think he's happy he didn't leave? I think nowadays he's happy. I have, been watching Messi since he's a child, since he was wearing the number 30, and I could see, especially with this turnaround on the Copa del Rey, that he will be able to play another final and everything he's doing on the matches. I think he is obviously happy. He voted for the first time today. Obviously, he voted for Laporta. I think the link was obvious. It has. He would never vote for Freixo, and I don't think he would feel any connection towards Victor Font, which is a very professional view, but is not a really passionate view. I think to me, what in a very dumb comparison, okay? But what Laporta is to Messi, Victor Font is to Griezmann. He's a pecho frio, He's a cold. I don't. I don't think you can compare regarding the passion and the responsibility, but I think the one of Laporta's main concerns for the next few days, or at least for as soon as the season ends, is to getting this Messi soap opera done with. Will he stay? Will he go? We needed to be clear, not only regarding ourselves and our mental stability and being able to say goodbye to Messi if he decides to go away. I sincerely don't think he would. After he went voting today, he was literally smiling under the mask when he was putting the vote on the ballot. But this is my view. So I hope he's able to stay. I hope the club is able to accommodate Messi and Messi's wages with this dire financial situation that we're in. But yeah, that's my view. What do you think, Maria, about our Messi throughout the season
Um,
and the
I think
possibility he stays?
we're in of course in a much better position of him to stay than we were last September when he said that Bartomeu had lied to him. You know, if you recall that interview he gave. So at that point, it was obvious that he wanted to leave. So, but I think today is a different scenario, not only because of the elections, but also it feels like the team is different, and maybe it's because they are seeing that all these awful years are going to end. But I feel that the team is a little bit different. It doesn't matter if they're playing better or worse, but the attitude in general. So I think that even with this strange year and difficult for Messi, I think his leadership is even bigger right now. So for me, it would be a very big surprise right now that he would decide to leave. And if you see the rest of the teams in the world, he would probably, I don't know, if he wanted to leave, he would consider just one, which is Manchester City, but it's still a little bit boring. I don't know. So I think that he won't leave. I
Yeah,
think
I agree that PSG would be the dumbest decision imaginable due to the league quality itself and the level of players. But Jordi, what do you think about Messi's throughout the season and his possibility to stay?
Uh, the first thing I don't agree too much with Messi is happy. I think Messi is responsible. He's the captain of the team. He went today to vote for the first time. Maybe the other time there was match or whatever he couldn't go, but today he went to vote. That was very important. He said, and we saw Messi, we saw Busquets, Sergio Roberto, Ricky Puig, uh, Boyan, all the Puyol, a lot of people and players and former players going to vote. That was very important. So I don't think exactly that Messi is happy, but he's responsible. He knows what is happening inside the club at all levels. He knows that he cannot be paid the same as he was getting. There is no money, so he knows. And obviously, he's waiting for the new president. For sure, it's easier for him to talk with Laporta. He knows Laporta, and they respect each other a lot. And Messi has always said, I never had a problem with Laporta. He said me, this is this, this is this, this is this, and it was this, like it or not. But it's this. With Bartomeu, he said Bartomeu lied me. He said a lot of lies to me. Laporta never did it, so that's a good thing for Laporta, of course, because when
And for us,
yeah. So and one of the things Messi has said in the last month, I said, I will not make any decision before the end of the season, unless everybody's touching my balls, of course. Then maybe I can be first here. sorry, but what I mean is, and when Messi said, I'm not going to decide, I want to talk to the new president and to see what is happening. And I'm not going to say if I leave or not before the end of the season. I want to win trophies and I want to win things. Sure, he's not thinking about leaving the club. Now the thing is, maybe the proposal of Laporta is not good enough for him, which I don't know. Another thing, obviously, in favor of Messi to stay here. when he wanted to leave in last August after the Champions League defeat against Bayern Munich, and when he's playing this interview with Ruben Uria, I think it was with Ruben Uria.
Yes, it
And
was.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes,
Yeah.
and
Ruben.
yeah, and he explained that when he said to his wife and the kids he wanted to leave, and the kids were playing, and it was very complicated for him. Yeah, the kids are born in Barcelona, they are raised in Barcelona, they have the friends and Messi's playing that, they live here, they have the friends here, they have all his friends since they were born.
They're
So now I
Catalan.
said,
They're Catalan. They're not
they're
Argentine.
Catalans also. But and now we have to go to another place. Wow, wow, it's really complicated. So obviously, if there is an option, because in this aspect we know about Messi, how Messi loved his family, how Messi loved the family and his family. If there is an option, sure the family is going to help he stays here. That's for sure. And on the other hand is what we were talking before. If he saw an idea of from Laporta about we are going to do this and this and this and this, we have no other options. We only can do these things at economical level with your salary and the other salaries. The players, we cannot go and sign Haaland or whoever. We cannot sell Coutinho because no one is going to buy Coutinho because the price is too expensive and so on. But anyway, let's see. I think he's not going to leave, but not sure 100%. Not sure.
Yeah, I agree with you. My take is that he stays as well. So this one, Jordi and Maria, it's more for you guys than for me. You guys know that I have been pretty much away from Barcelona since 2010, since the fascist Bolsonaro was elected here. I have more pressing matters to attend than to look at Barcelona and Bartomeu. Maria, what do you think about Matteo Alemany and what would he add? I'm really ignorant, so I can't say anything.
I'm afraid I can't say anything or a lot of things about him, but I would say that I was hearing some ideas about this guy, but I don't know what would be the position on the club he would take.
Jordi, do
So
you know more than us?
Well, Mateo Alemany has been working as a CEO at Mallorca and later in Valencia. As a CEO, everybody talks well about him and the numbers he made in Mallorca and Valencia. They all agree with him. So as a CEO, I think it's a good idea. I don't see him in the sporting side. I don't see him. So because I don't know what he knows about the club, about the positional playing, about La Masia as a sport, not as a place for young athletes and with this and this and that. If not about a way of playing and a way of understanding. I don't know what Mateo Alemany knows. He never has been talking. He never has been working in this position in the club. So when people say Mateo Alemany is helping Jordi Cruyff as a technical secretary, I said, what? I don't see this guy. I said, "Hi, Mateo Alemany is the CEO of the club. Okay, let's go, because the experience he has at Mallorca and Valencia is very good. The only difference there is more money, but yeah, but at the end of the day, talking when you are a CEO of a big company, of a large company. Okay, this company is making 10,000 millions a year, and then next move you move to a company that is making 30,000 millions a year. So Mallorca was a budget of 200 million. Valencia is 600 million, and Barca is 1,000 million. But I mean, okay, it's the only way, huh? It's the only way. I mean, some people say, "Oh, he has no experience." Oh my God, do you have any experience the first time you do something? No, no one. And finally, you do this thing. You are a lawyer. You remember the first time you have a trial?
Oh, not good.
And nobody can say, oh no, you have no experience as a lawyer. You cannot be in that trial. How the hell I'm going to get the experience if I never go to a trial?
Yes.
So it's the same. So Alemany has done well as a CEO in Mallorca, later in Valencia. I think at least he deserves. At least he deserves. But from the sporting side, I don't see him honestly.
Yeah, we have no idea. But the other thing that I want to add out of my ignorance about him is that for a long time during this, dark ages with Rosell and Bartomeu, people were really crazy about Monchi, that guy from Sevilla that ran through Roma and everything. And every time people would ask me, I would say it doesn't matter how good he is at buying or selling or identifying players to sign. What matters is, in case of Barcelona, if the person is able to join this ability that he has to sign people with our needs inside that Cruyffist system. So as Jordi said, we can't be sure of how we will do within Barcelona, within our budget, and if he will be able, if the and
But
most likely with Laporta, there will be
yeah,
a bigger structure to allow him to, sign the players for us not to have to endure Alex Song, Mathieu, Song, Vidal, Paulinho, because
let
I
me let
can't.
me let me say something, if you don't mind, Maria, about this subject. When people talk about Monchi, and people says Monchi as a technical director, and I was saying, no, wait, because there is a lot of times a confusion between technical director and technical secretariat. It's different. The technical the technical director is the big boss. He's the one who decides about how the club is running on from the sporting side. He's the executive, right? So Monchi cannot be the technical director of Barca because, as far as I know, he never has been in Sevilla or in Rome when he was in Rome, involved in positional playing or similar. So I don't know how much this man knows about this thing. You say Xavi can be the technical director, yes. Jordi Cruyff, Oscar Garcia, yeah, for sure. Monchi is like some Mark Overmars, that his name was also in some papers a few days ago. Can be technical director for Barcelona, yeah, can be. But then we have another position, is a technical secretary. Then Monchi or Michael Zorc, which is another name that has been also in some areas. These guys, they know a lot about the market. So, as a technical director, I can say to them, I need a left full back, which is this and this and this and this and this. Go.
Mhm.
Or the players we want are players in that way. We need this kind of players able to do this. So Rakitic, which is very good for Sevilla, is not good for positional playing. Alves was very good as a fullback in Sevilla and was very good as a fullback in Barcelona, right? But as a technical secretary, you have to distinguish where are you and what are the needs of the club, and also obviously the first thing is to look down to see what's in La Masia, what in the youth ranks, and then as a as a if you go to my profile on Twitter, my pinned tweet says, Pep, if first look at home, if we don't find it home, we will outside. And Thubi and other people were saying, if we don't fight it outside, we will come home to look for it. That's the main difference. So the key point for Monchis and George and all these players is first to know what we have in the club, to know how we are going, how we want to play, what kind of players we need, and we have this at home. Yes, okay, this player, this player, this player, and then we say, okay, we don't have this player. Okay, let's go outside. Let's go to Europe. Let's go to Africa. Let's go to America. Let's go to Uzbekistan. Let's go to I don't know where to see if we can find this player.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's the thought process is a bit more amplified in length, in severity, in difficulty, in complexity. So I think we'll have to see if what his experience does and whatnot. But I want to let my invitees go back to their homes in 15 more minutes. So let me check the last questions. Renato Emilio has been asking since the beginning of the stream, but now I will answer him. Regarding the mismanagement of the previous board, will it be investigated? I think the thing is with the Bartogate, it's out of the club's hands. It has become a criminal, a judicial issue on its own. It has taken its legs. It's why, here I'm talking as a lawyer a little bit, it's why we have seen the police raid the FC Barcelona offices. It's why they arrested Bartomeu, and he was dumb enough to have the documents with him. Stupid asshole. And this regarding AV3 Ventures, I don't know the name correctly, and all this shit will it is already ongoing, and Laporta, the best he can do is when he changes the administration or he puts a compliance company who me as a socialist will never truly believe that they are capable of doing anything, to be honest. But to go back in history, since you guys like when we talk about history, let's us remind us that Mr. Victor Font lied openly when he said that Laporta had led the club in a financial crisis back in 2003, because that was why Rossell and Bartomeu started a judicial process against the former board, because they cooked the books to make it look like the losses that had happened under Gaspard, before Laporta had taken place, were due to Laporta's fault. And the judicial process took a lot of years, a lot of appeals. That's why, besides Maria's brother Corsario, I mentioned Jordi Cireira, who is the Helena Fort's husband, because they were being prosecuted. They were in the danger of losing their homes, their life savings, because of a lie invented by Rossell and Bartomeu. So I think there is a possibility that Laporta takes the high road and doesn't start the persecution, the compliance, whatever the fuck, the internal investigations really fast. But there's also the possibility that finally we go after the Nunistas and the link with Mundo Deportivo, and why we allow Mundo Deportivo and Sport to make money out of the club while inventing lies, making the harder to the club and to the people who are running it, to the coaches. And I think there's lots of ways this could go. This could be the things they are set in motion, they will keep, because they are in the jurisdiction of the judicial system. I think Laporta could start something, but I think it's also something that we'll discover together. What do you think, Maria, about people, Laporta, going after these crooks that took over the club for the last 10 years?
There are a lot of ways to make these people pay, or really get what they need to get in order to basically repair all the damage they have done, because there are a lot of possibilities here. This trial or this process in the justice right now for this Bartogate scandal is just one of them. There are two felonies, it says in English, for delitos, that are very recurrent or very common in Bartomeu's practices, which is the unlawful administration and the corruption between particulars, or like people. So in this trial, this process that we're having at the Bartogate, there's both felonies are being investigated. Um, but there can be a lot of other things. We have at our group, we have the make a lot of inquiries to the club in the past to see if there are other things going on. For example, we did one regarding the signing of Griezmann. I don't know if you remember, guys, but when Griezmann
Yes.
there were a lot of talks in the press that there were commissions and some people got paid, and we never knew anything about that. So that could be something that can get to the surface at some point, and also, of course, commissions and all of the other things that could see the light with these signings of many Brazilian players. I think that that could be even bigger than the Barto gate. So, and of course, the Laporta has said before that this action of responsibility that is a process as well when a board, basically when there are a lot of them in the club or negative results for a complete season, financial results, I mean, they can start a process against them. But that is just one possibility. And I think maybe they are not going to do that, but there are a lot of other options available to, and I see that people have said from people that I know from their close to Laporta that sure, they're going to see everything, and if they find something, of course, they're going to file a lawsuit or something. So I'm pretty confident that the processes at the end will have a good result. Or maybe we're not going to see them because they're always long, it takes years, but at least they're going to be a movement on that part.
Jordi, what do you think about what the future holds for Mr. Bartomeu and Rosell?
There are two things we have to distinguish from my point of view. One is obviously the first thing that Laporta has to do is to prepare an audit to know the real situation of the club, for sure. We all know that the situation is really bad. We don't know how really bad it is. So we have to know. Once we know this, there are two kind of things that can happen. One thing is Bartomeu is a perfect idiot. No, I'm talking seriously. I mean, he has no idea, and he's doing things. So he's buying random Brazilian players because he got a report from the technical services saying that this player was good enough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the president. My technical service, my technical staff says this player is good. The cost of the player is whatever, 4 million. And the legal commission is, I don't know how much. And I paid. So you can say nothing. The only thing we can say, we are idiots because we voted this guy in 2015. But this is legal. This is legal, like it or not. Another point is obviously we have that we pay 4 million for the player, and someone put 6 in commissions inside the pocket. Then it's a legal problem, and then we have to solve this. So that's why I say it's just two different things. One is the things that if they have no idea, they don't know how to do it, they don't know the prices. Okay, we can discuss a lot about this. Another thing is if there are illegal commissions, like in the case of I3 Ventures with this Bar2Gate and so on, that's another point, and all these kind of things. So it's not about that Laporta is arriving and saying you go into the jail or you going to the judge. No, wait. We have to see why you are going, because we were talking before when Rochelle arrived, they wanted to put all the former board of Laporta, and finally the judge says no, this is not right. You're not right. What you're doing is not right. So Laporta was doing good. So but also the idea was to put Laporta and his board on trial just because they lost money, which is the part I don't agree. I mean, Bartomeu can lose money. Why? Because he's an idiot. Okay, we voted for him. We voted for him. It's our fault. It's our fault. It's not a legal question. Simply we vote for this guy and he's an idiot. We can do nothing. I think, as I said, he put the money inside the pocket. Then that's another point.
Yeah, my friend, I agree. I'm 5 minutes away from the 2 hour limit. I won't hold you guys because I know it's late. I have one last question here.
It's late for me, not for you.
No, for me, it's 9 9, but I know that we are in different time zones.
that's
So
that's
I know that you have to work tomorrow in the pitch.
not tomorrow, today. But anyway,
So it's the last one that I
no
think
worries, no worries. I'm
it
enjoying a lot.
sums up what we have been discussing here for the last 2 hours. Is that can Laporta either get rid of term limits or groom a successor to make sure that the club is in ruin and all the work isn't undone after his 2 terms are done, the way it was under Rossell and Bartomeu? I will. What I will say is what me and Jordi were talking about before Maria came along is that the reality of this club, since at least after the Second World War, after Franquismo and everything, is that only a small percentage of the Catalan elite has been, exchanging the dominion over the club amongst themselves. And these people are really mediocre. They do shady deals. They sell and use their newspaper and the power that they have in the media to create the ideology that it's normal to have people funnel money out of the Camp Nou in the 50s to their own pockets and use the construction companies to sell the best player in the world back then, Luis Suarez, to
Luis
Inter
Suarez.
Milan and have him win 2 Champions Leagues when we weren't winning anything, to have the 60s when we didn't win a single title, and in the 70s, out of Cruyff's being an asshole, and Real Madrid had bought him without his permission. He went to Barcelona and he re-energized the club and the city, and he was persecuted by the same powers, by the same people, and once more, we spent more than a decade without a single title. We took 10 years, and only when they were in a bad position, they brought him. So the war for us to keep Cruyffism alive and to keep Laporta being able to, work towards this goal, it starts tomorrow. It never ends because Laporta being elected and was having this beautiful Cruyffism, jogo de posición, everything we achieved between 2008 and 2012, especially, it is the exception. The normalcy of FC Barcelona is Rossell, is Bartomeu, is Núñez, is Gaspar, is decades of mediocrity. So what we do need is people who are brave enough, like Maria, like Elcor Balgrana, people who understand that the situation is ongoing, and if it depends on the Catalan society by itself, it will remain. And we wouldn't be here celebrating with 40 people listening to a Brazilian, a Catalan, and a Chilean talking about a happy day, because the cycle, it won't fix itself. So I don't think Laporta will be able to get rid of term limits because it will come to democracy and blah, blah, blah. And even though he's able to groom a perfect successor, that isn't the possibility that people won't use fake news and lies and use deceitful judicial process to get rid of them. So that's my view. Maria, your last contribution. What do you think about this subject? And I will let you go back to your, peaceful night.
Well, I think you did a great summary of what we have as a club. It is what it is, basically. But I think one thing has changed in the last 5 years, probably. And I think that the club, maybe even the people who won today, I think I have the theory that they don't really understand the difference between this universe of Blaugrana people. Um, if we compare this time around with the other one that 2015 was, and I think I'm gonna refer again to the process that we had last year, because one thing that is very difficult, and I found very difficult over the years, is to mobilize or make, especially, and I'm not I hope I'm not offending, but to make Catalans to really move for something. So it only happened when Messi was leaving, when we had this awful defeat in Champions League, and after a huge scandal with the last president, um, we had this incredibly amount of things happening, and we only had to we reacted as a club, as a members, when all these things happened. So, but we did. We didn't. We reacted. We did things. We talked to people, organized and stuff. So I think today, yes, with this new board, should expect a lot of bashing from the press, from these new groups. There are a couple of, I wouldn't say a couple, maybe one new groups that are called like Transparencia or something, but they have never been around before, so it's weird. I suspect of everything right now. So they would expect a lot of this bashing and stuff, but I think if they communicate this board as a club, when they finally are going to run the club, if they communicate and they talk to people uh, all over the world, I think they're going to find more support and strength to confront the problems that they're going to face with the press and all these guys. So I think that the same way we did with the movement last year, that started internationally, and then we moved the members to sign to kick out Bartomeu. Basically, the same thing they have to do right now. The new board and connect with the people in all over the world, allow them to become socios as well. I know that Laporta has this in his plans, and I applaud that. But also communicate in a different way so they can be supported and at some point even protected by coolers around the world. Because the war that they're going to have inside, like in Catalonia, is going to be big.
Yeah, dear. I thank you once more for being here, for everything you and Cor Blaugrana did. I think what you brought is historical. It's never been done before. These people literally moved the laws around, so it would be harder to take them out through using the way you did. So uh, obviously, I will let Jordi give his answer because before I say goodbye to both of you, but I couldn't have asked for better, coolers to be with me on this joyous occasion because us three have been, one of the four shirtless people on Twitter against these fuckers, and you were hands on and you
Descamisados y mal barcelonistas.
yes, els quatre descamisats. and
Y mal
so
barcelonistas.
mal barcelonistas, and that I had an agenda against Bartomeu. He went to jail, you dumb fucks. Assholes. So, Maria, thank you so much. And Jordi, your last contribution to the live about this subject. Tell me, my friend, your mind about this stuff.
Thank you very much for you and for the invitation, and also thank you very much to Maria for the insights she's giving. She knows, maybe I know a little bit more about football. She knows about more economics and other things. So when talking about these things, she's much better than me. But anyway, thank you very much for the invitation, and I hope everybody's having a great night and have enjoyed this chat and so on. So, and that's all I have to say.
Thank
So,
you so
guys,
much for inviting me and also for the conversation with Jordi because I know a little bit about football, but of course I you know a lot more. So it's always nice to learn more.
so guys, I will let you go. I thank you so much once more, and I will, let you guys rest. I will say one last few words here by myself, so I will put you guys on the background. If you feel free to stay if you want, if you're not, especially Jordi, because I know it's late. Thank
No
you
worries.
way more because this is a special night for everyone, and I want to end this reminding some stuff and. Thank you. Have a good night, both of you.
See you.
And whenever
Thank
shit goes down again, I will call you again for us to talk.
you.
But don't
So,
wait until the next elections.
no, not 6 years. So, guys, thank you so much. Have a great
Yeah.
night. And I
Thank
will
you.
do it here. So, for the 32 people who are still here, I am. It's been really a crazy ride for everyone, for me, for Jordi, for Maria, and we have and we did it. Today we there was also always the random people trying to make us scared. There was this guy saying, "Oh no, here in my ballot, I think it's going to be real close that Freixa is a red or whatever the fuck." And we always have to be mindful of who we read, what they're talking about, what they're normalizing, what they are saying is something that we need to accept. We don't need to accept anything below what we know this club represents. So this shirt, it carries a weight, that guy carries a weight, and that number carries a weight. And the reason we are still talking about Barcelona, even though the glory days with Guardiola are long gone, Guardiola is not coming back, for exactly the reasons with these people, these Catalan elites, this media that has persecuted him and attacked him throughout his whole career, not only after he became coach. So I was really fortunate to have Maria and Jordi here with me because Jordi, he actually works, he's a Cruyffist coach. He teaches young people in Andorra, in the region, really a small country close to Catalonia. And Maria, she works in a regular company in Chile. And she organized people from all over the world, and especially in Catalonia, to take Bartomeu down. And if it was for the way Twitter was acting and the way the media in Catalonia, Sport and Mundo Deportivo were acting, Bartomeu would not be removed, you know. So it has to come from us, and this is how I want to end this live stream. Today is a happy day, is a day of celebration, is a day of watching the 6-2 win against Real Madrid in the Bartomeu, the 5-0 in Camp Nou, and the Champions Leagues we won basically back to back in 2009 and 2011. If not for the fucking volcano, shit. Um, but we cannot rely on what the Catalan elites and their media publications and Mundo Deportivo and everything, and the common sense that Cruyffism will not make us competitive, that we have to tinker with it, that football has changed. Football will only get worse. Football will only get more professional and more 4-3-2-1 and the same, you know, thing about relying about physicality and directness and the shit that we have been watching in the Premier League, for instance, for most of the time before Guardiola went there. Football will never evolve in a way to become more artistic, more interesting, and more memorable. That's not how it works, because it's more and more linked to capitalism, and capitalism is the fucking devil, so it won't change. It's up to us. And what Laporta did, it was due to people like Jordi who resisted, was to people like Maria who organized, and that's why we're celebrating today. So let's not rest on this victory. We are getting 6 years until 2027, but that's in theory. These people, the power they have, the money they have, the media and the influence they have, they could come up with some bullshit to remove Laporta beforehand on some lie. They lied about him today. So it's up to us. It's up to us to remain critical, to be picky, as I have been, as Jordi has been, as Maria has been, because this guy was picky. This guy was critical towards everything, towards himself, towards his player, and especially towards this shitty internal and this everything that goes around this club. And that's how I want to finish this, to remind you that it's always worth to fight for what we believe, be it in our communities, a club that I have never been to Barcelona. I have never met Jordi. I met Maria because she came to my wedding here in Brazil. I have made great actual friends due to this club and this proximity. And it's through our talking to people in the way they understand and not accepting mediocrity that we'll be able to keep the good times rolling, even though we know that this victory now, it comes with a serious sporting and financial crisis. But it's up to us to remain critical, to remain Cruyffists, to remain, you know, going after the powerful one. So this is a celebrating day, so I take a last sip. I thank every single one of you who had remained here with me for over 2 hours. I have missed this, and I will try to be a little more active, a little more regular on the YouTube channel. I will record with Frederic Porta, who is a great journalist who, as I said, was blacklisted by Bartomeu as a result of the V3 Ventures investigation. I will record with him maybe a live stream or a video this week on Thursday. And Visca el Barça, Visca Catalunya, e Visca Laporta, and let's check on his work and everything that's going. So good night. Thank you once more for, you know, following me, and we'll see each other on the matches now that we're all excited to see it again. Bye-bye.